I just can't take no pleasure in killing. Just some things you gotta do. Don't mean you have to like.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
You want to know what happens to an eyeball when it gets punctured? You got any idea how much blood jets out of a guy's neck when his throat's been slit?
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
What's up, everyone? DJ Nubis here with you on the Meltdown Radio podcast with my ghoul brother from another ghoul mother, Mr. Tony the Dead, and we are the Ghouls of Midnight, where each week we alternate between picks. He picks one, and then I pick one to review. It could be a modern movie, former old movie. It could be a pick because he's a musician. He's air drums, air guitar. He's got it all going on over there as we rock out the necrophagia. So this time, my pick, episode 58. We're going to hit well over 100 this year, I think. So basically, my pick is from 2023. It's called How to Kill Monsters, directed by Stuart Spark. Stars Lyndsey Craine, Aaron Dennis, and Fen Huang. And basically, the synopsis is the sole survivor of a blood-drenched massacre must team up with a ragtag bunch of rookie cops and lawbreakers to defend a police station from an invasion of monsters from another dimension. I did a trailer reaction to this back probably in 2023 because I never got around to seeing it till now. But let's go ahead and revisit for those that have not seen what this movie is all about. This is How to Kill Monsters.
Jamie, I'm just here for the truth, no matter how strange or bizarre it is. What the hell was that?
You just said...
All right, let's just start from the beginning, before the screaming.
Got it.
A cabin in the woods. A ritual that summons some kind of monster which conveniently disappeared. Oh, and a chainsaw. I mean, come on, it's been done.
We are all in danger. Whatever power brought that monster into our world is still out there. And if we don't stop it, we are all going to die.
Bob! Did they get Bob? What about Bob?
You're standing on him!
Oh,
Give it to me. I am the destroyer of worlds. The never-ending darkness.
What you face tonight is nothing compared to what's out there.
Believe me now?
And there you go.
Yep.
So yeah, your first impressions of How to Kill Monsters.
Went into it blind like I usually do with movies. Never saw a trailer. Very interesting. Like it starts off like right away, you get into the action and everything, and then it kind of like, and then it ends, and like it's like the end of a movie. And I actually was like, "Wait, did I just watch the end of this fucking movie?"
That's what it
I'm
did
like,
to me too. I'm
oh,
like,
there's like an hour.
I had to go pause it and say, "Okay, it's looking like an hour or something." I was like,
right.
At least they're not fucking with me hard. Like I'm like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, come on!" But that was a clever way to how they got into the movie. Then, and like, then it's on the radio in the car, and she's arrested. But like, yeah, like I said, went into it blind. It was interesting. I looking up on it. I actually reviewed the book on monsters from the same director like a few years ago, and I was like, "Where's this girl? Look, where's she look? You know, where do I know her from?" And I looked it up. I was like, "Oh, okay." And it's the same guy and everything. And so I sort of, it was a while ago, but I sort of remember that. Like it had like these kind of monsters.
So you saw Book of Monsters then?
Yeah, I saw Book of Monsters.
So my question, because I actually have been trying to contact Lyndsey Craine because I want to kind of interview her because I was very impressed with her acting in here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And saw that she did Book of Monsters. So I'm curious, do the movies connect in any way?
The only thing I don't know if they connected all. They're like the same type of movie. This one definitely had a bigger budget and like bigger monsters and like a bigger story. But like her and the blonde in it, the bridesmaid, they were both in Book of Monsters.
Ariana Snow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were both in.
Yeah, I was gonna
no,
say.
no, no.
I wish I
not
would
that
have
one.
seen a little more from her character because she was pretty cool.
No, not that one. The one who was in the bridal shower.
Oh, that's right.
Chelsea,
The bitchy girl. The bitchy girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they were both in Book of Monsters together. I don't really remember. I remember liking the movie, but yeah, this kind of like definitely you could tell he had a way bigger budget and better story and everything. So I don't know if like that was like his, first try, and now this is what he really wanted to do, or if this is like a unrelated sequel. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
I just saw that was in her IMDb. I was like, I wonder if they're like related in some way, or could have been like an Evil Dead thing where Raimi kind of just upgraded Evil Dead 2 to Evil Dead 1. So
that's true. You know what? Because this is so like it even says Raimi-esque, Maybe that was his idea.
Yeah, maybe.
That's true. Cool.
So yeah, basically, you've got Lyndsey Craine playing Jamie. She's going to this party with her boyfriend, and it's like a Halloween party. And I've already shown you the Velma, this chick here, who kind of like running this little party with a couple other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so they get there, and like her boyfriend for Jamie, she's familiar with the people in the crowd, even though Jamie's not really that familiar with them. But it turns out it's like they're going to do a seance. And so like, we get the pentagram on the floor, and then her boyfriend has got this thing called it's like the dagger or something, the Eldritch dagger.
Yeah.
And it's a very cool device. In the trailer, you see they're clicking the handle, and it has like different glyphics on there. So I thought that was a cool idea.
Yeah.
So he got a hold of this, and apparently if you correspond the right glyphs, you can summon a monster. Now the key was they start cutting their hand, getting, donating the blood for the ritual, yada, yada, yada. But it turns out that Jamie's going to be the sacrifice. And so unknowns to her, her boyfriend ends up getting stabbed by Velma, who clearly double-crossed. It was really the trio, the other ones that were going to perform this crazy-ass ritual murder, what they were doing. So we see where she lifts up the dagger and goes to stab her, but then as she's attacked, Velma's attacked by a creature from behind, and then chaos kind of erupts. We get to a point where Jamie's got her chainsaw and, of course, starts fighting off the creature or whatever, and then eventually the cops show up. She gets on the phone and calls the cops. Now, everyone's dead except for her. Her boyfriend's gone, everybody. Mm-hmm. So she gets put in jail. The cops obviously don't believe her story about monsters. They think she just went off the deep end. And while she's in the jail cell, this wedding party gets thrown on these bunch of rowdy girls, led by I believe it's Fen is the Blair. She's the one that's supposed to get married, but they were partying too hard. And Chelsea, the one that you brought up from the other movie, she's like the one friend that's just looking to get everybody in trouble all the time, just doing crazy shit. So anyway, they get thrown in there to the cage next to Jamie. And so just a little bit of talk here and there between everybody. And Jamie keeps trying to tell these young cops played by, let me get his names right, Aaron Dennis, who plays Dennis, and then Melvin Daniel Thrace. They play the brothers that are cops. And Melvin's like the sergeant, whereas Dennis is kind of just like a regular cop who has to do all the shit work around the station and whatnot. So, but he's taking a liking to Jamie a little bit. He's like, I try to believe you now. I'm just being cool, but you have to behave and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Yeah. And eventually their mother is also the lead commandant or whatever. That's
I don't know what.
They never really have a title for her, but she's the boss.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yes, ma'am.
So they're throwing a party for her, I think. And so while that's going on, the woman that's in the forensics, she's playing around with the dagger because they have that from when Jamie was arrested.
Mm-hmm.
And she figures out that, this thing's like centuries old. And then she, must have been playing around with the glyphs. And anyway, we really don't see her till a bit later, but the monsters start showing up in the station and start attacking people. And so now they have to band together to kind of fight them off one by one. And, the funny thing is, like, I like this movie. I do. Like, the comedy kind of falls short a little bit with me. Like, it doesn't hit as much as it should. But at the same time, I kind of find myself drawn to it because I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
How did you feel by the time the movie started unraveling and everything was coming together?
You mean that part, or like the big reveal?
Now, the big reveal we'll get to, but just before that, all the the Mickey Mouse running around trying to kill and whatever,
It was interesting because the monsters are like kind of like what the hell's his name? Like Cthulhu and like those type of monsters, which and you could tell somebody's in a suit or something but
Oh,
like
yeah,
it's still fun. They do like they don't focus on it like so that doesn't take you out of the moment so much. But
yeah, special effects are fun in this. I like that a
yeah,
lot.
the CGI in like the where that's like it's gone is kind of like but it was okay. You could excuse it, I guess.
Yeah.
Better than the graphics in Deep Rising, but oh, sorry.
Oh,
Evan reminded me that I hated that movie, so but yeah, yeah, it's just it's like it's one of those times where it's like it's nerve-wracking because nobody's believing her, no one's listening to her, and then all of a sudden this stuff happens, and it's like in the trailer, she's like, "Believe me now," kind of. It's like,
yeah,
"Okay, yeah, I
yeah,
believe you now," and now they're fighting these monsters. Uh, I get what you mean with the comedy falling short at times. There was like a part where I could tell they stole it from another movie, or borrowed it, I guess you could say. There was a line he said,
yeah.
and you know, but like it still has my attention, like because it's like what's going to happen in this jail cell. I always think that's funny because then there's like that lady that's laying in there. What was her name?
Big
Big,
C something.
yeah,
Yeah,
something like that. And
Big
she was
Jenny, I
fun.
think.
Big Jenny, yeah, Big Jenny, and then the guy that was across from them in the other
THC.
cell, Tinny G, which I looked at him and he's actually like he was one of the chatterers from Hellraiser.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a chatter and he's also in Nightbreed. He was like he's the guy that had like the moon head.
Okay, Nicholas. Yeah, I could tell by looking at him, he has the moon head. Like I could see his facial structure.
Right. Yeah,
I told, yeah, Nicholas Vance. So I didn't know that was him though. That's cool.
no, I was like, why is this guy? He seems, and he has a funny little scene too because he looks
He
like the tough guy. And yeah,
takes a monster to kill a monster.
yeah, and then he's just like, and your weapon.
Yeah. Then he runs off.
Yeah. But
You're
yeah,
like, maybe he went to get help.
yeah, they just like that's where the funny kind of like comical stuff comes in, like stuff like that. You know, but yeah, I mean, like I said, it kept my attention, and I wanted to see where it was going, so that was good. It had already had likable characters,
Yes.
so that's good.
Yeah, and of course, obviously, one thing I can appreciate about it is like, for most part, you think this movie's just kind of running by the numbers, and so, but then it throws you a curveball, which I really like. Now, I watched it 2 times. I watched it again last night, and I started picking up on the things that I should have picked up the first time that I didn't. So I started to notice it, how Jamie was changing, and of course, when it happened, she changed. It turns out that Jamie was never really there anymore. It was actually the demon that had possessed her.
Yeah.
And so she needed, because her boyfriend was able to imprison her back into Jamie's old body, but she was still aware. So what happens is Jamie's during this time trying to get the dagger back, and she's trying to get these other people because she can't touch it because it's almost like fire, like a cross. Yeah. So she needs to get them to put the code in to release her back into her natural state. And then she turns into hot Jamie. Like, I'm really turned on by hot Jamie. And she does a really good job of, like, there's some moments where when the two brothers are fighting the monster, she's kind of like doing this, like she's all like kind of cutesy, like just amused, like demonically amused by what's going on.
Yeah.
So when she turns into demon Jamie, I'm sold. Like, I'm like, crucify me, do whatever you want to do with me, baby. Just do it.
I like both versions, to be honest, but yeah.
But I mean, but
yeah, she is hot.
Demon. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
As I say that, I get a text from Shayna. So,
oops,
always listening.
She knows.
She does.
She's got you on cam. So yeah. So anyway, Jamie manages to kind of fool them into getting her released into her natural state. So the glowing eyes, and she's like got the dagger, and now she can touch it, and she's basically releasing hell on earth. That's really her plan. So now the job comes down to how can they get the dagger back, because obviously they know that she was imprisoned once into the body. If they can get her back into her human form, they can actually kill her, just to be done with her. So you do get like this other girl, Ruth, who's like a more timid Asian girl, what's part of the bridal party, but she's smart. She knows how to deal with computers. She knows how to fix things that need to be fixed in order to decode that dagger again and get the code out to lock the demon back in there. So there's a lot of this little Mickey Mouse. They're trying to fool the demon, get her away from the dagger. Then, of course, we get the two bridesmaids that were killed earlier in the film. They come back as demons, and the one Crystal, she's like a dumbass. Like, Ruth outsmarts her, like, yeah, you gonna let her take all the credit?
Yeah, that was funny.
And then she turns around, she just hands the dagger, just hold this. I was like, she's like, that was easy.
Yeah.
So even in the death life, Crystal's not very smart.
No, she's not. Her that was like this. It, like, again, as I say, Raimi kind of movie, but like there is a lot of like comical Evil Dead 2 things in this, like with the hole in the door. It looks like a cartoon cut like thing that she sticks her head in there, and there's like little dolls things.
Yeah, it was all over the place because then I'm thinking automatically like Ghoulies. Like it looks like Ghoulies at that point. You get these little creatures that are attacking him, and they're funny as hell. Like the one was like the cord. So she's trying to get the cord away, like she can plug in the computer. She's like, let go. And the thing's like, it's keeping away, trying to keep it away from her shit. So it's kind of fun. It's a fun movie. You can tell they're having a blast with it.
Yeah.
Then you have some cops that are on the outside. Of course, I'm never really sure why this is happening, but occasionally, like the station's up in air, like it's almost space, and like it's floating, and you got all this other shit going on, and then it's back down to earth. So it's like a lot of. I'm not really sure how all that's happening while they're in there, but it is. But like you said, the CGI is not horrible. It's you can tell it's CGI, but it's not horrible. It's not like it's going to ruin the movie at all.
No.
Eventually they do win out and get her back into the body of Jamie. And then of course when they're outside, Jamie comes out with her chainsaw again, but gets shot down, and then that's the end of Jamie at that point, which is actually the demon.
Yeah.
And then they have that where it's pretty much could be set up for a sequel. They're like, talking to the two brothers, Ruth and Blair, who are basically the remaining cast, and they're like, yeah, you guys can be good demon hunters like us. There's a lot out here we have to take care of. Yeah. And they're kind of like, yeah, and then they pause, which is great. So they pause, and then it goes to credits. Like, yeah, we're not so sure about that. We don't want to really do that.
There's worse out there than what you deal with tonight, and it's like, really?
Yeah,
there's worse, and nobody heard about that. Like, she's the queen of demon monsters,
right? Yeah, so, I thought once they got rid of her, that would have been like it.
Yeah.
But then also I've been like, if I'm one of the brothers, I'm like, look, we took care of this shit. You guys go handle your own shit. We're done. I'm going on vacation. Fuck this.
Yeah, they pulled a Men in Black thing. There was, you took down these without any training, which is like Will Smith took down whatever alien that was on foot. So yeah. It's kind of like, you did it without having any training. And it's like, I would totally join that thing, by the way. Like, I ain't going to stay in this little shit town. But
we're moving on.
Moving on and up.
Did you have any favorite moments in here?
I always get a kick out of when somebody, like that guy, I'm laughing now, opens up the locker, and he's like, and she's punches him in the face and shuts the door. I got a kick out of that. That was funny. I just overall I like the gore in it and the comedy together. Like, this is the horror comedy I like. Like this sat well with me. I knew what it was doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. I do feel like the end fight went on a little long.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, other favorite scenes.
I think one I liked a
No,
lot
there's a lot.
was
There's a lot of good
when
ones.
when Melvin, because he had a crush on the forensic girl.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
so he was tasked to go into the bathroom, the women's bathroom, and because she was calling from out in there. And the entire time he's like, "This is a trap. This is a trap," but he keeps
This
going.
is where I'm gonna die.
Yeah. And so basically, but it was cool, neat little thing because obviously we know she's setting him up because she's all sexy and Latin now, and not like the high intellect girl she was in the earlier in the film. So now she's kind of like seductive and trying to like entrap him. So,
Yeah.
but she was just like a piece, like from this. It looks almost like from those one of those sea creatures that had like the little lights that dangle.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was kind of a cool thing, just like a trap, basically, to lure him in, and that's exactly what it was doing.
Yep.
Yeah,
that was a cool monster idea. I hate saying they're shouting out, but like that was like that monster that was in Evil Dead 2 at the end.
Yeah,
It's
coming
kinda
through
like that.
the door. Yep.
But the
Big eye. Or
angler
even
fish,
poltergeist too.
poltergeist, yeah. The angler fish, that's what that's called.
Yeah.
That was a cool idea because because you're saying he's making out with her, and then they look in to make sure everything's going planned, and they see him making out with her, and she's kind of like grotesque, and she still has her lips though, so but her like face is like weird and shit, and she's not human anymore. She's dead, and it like
Yeah.
just holds on to him. Is going to bring him into the mouth. That was cool. That was a cool
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah,
And
and
she's
I
hot.
thought,
She had some.
oh yeah, well, all
Yeah.
of them look great. I mean,
Yeah.
even as much as bitchy as Chelsea was, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Very true.
So that's always good too. You get girls that are nice looking, easy on the eyes, and then acting is fun.
Yeah.
They clearly had a good time. Like these are the kind of films I wish I kind of see like behind the scenes with, so I can see like how much fun they were having with it. Because we saw a little bit when we did the God, I can't remember the name. What's that?
Killer Goats.
Yes. So you had some of that at the end, like that. Actually, we talked about it. That was like funner than the movie of that particular thing. But like, because you could tell they were really having fun with it. But like, this is one of these films where I'd really like to see like how they were having fun in the film just doing that, because it looks like a lot of blast.
Yeah, it does. I think there was behind the scenes on the Book of Monsters, and it looked like they had fun on that too. I was trying to think like I like I don't know. I liked a lot of the scenes, to be honest. Like I thought the when Big Jenny got it, like he like grabbed her leg, and then they're like, "Be quiet, because this thing's blind." And then like she wakes up and screams, everybody screams, and then thing grabs her legs and she pulls her to the bars, and boom, right in the crotch. And then she goes back, and then boom again, and it splits her. And I was like, oh shit. But yeah, it was a really cool scene. Like that jail cell was really neat. The cast was really great.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to see how that ended, the switch and everything. I didn't honestly see that coming.
Neither did I. That's what made it great. I was like, oh wait, we're not done. This is good.
Yeah.
I
like
this.
too how like you see the first story that Jamie's telling and how the people are getting killed by the monster. And then it's like they think about it, they had to film it again a different way.
Yeah.
And I really like that too. I think each one of their kills in that was really good.
Yeah, because it sells what's happening to the audience. Like
right.
We're assuming that because they paused right before Velma impales her with the dagger. So that's when we think that the monster interrupts the seance and kills everybody and saves her until she goes and kills everyone else, kills the creatures.
Yeah.
But then when we get the reveal, it turns out, they actually killed Jamie in the ritual, but only her body became possessed by the demon, then goes and wreaks havoc and kills everybody. And they show her doing it, not really the monster itself.
Yeah.
So I thought that was so good.
Yeah, I like where she did the phone thing. She's like, "Oh my God, please get over here quick."
Yeah.
Just like stop.
And then they showed
so
up. She's
bored
sitting
with
down.
it.
She's like just sitting there. She has like try to get her cry face on. She's like,
yeah. She's like, that's good. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So final thoughts.
the chainsaw with that outfit, that kind of like reminded me of the outfit in um Tales of Halloween. That
Yeah.
four, yeah, it looked like that. It was pretty cool. Like there's definitely a lot of shout outs in this movie to things. I don't want to rip it apart.
The two movies we picked have a lot of chainsaws going on.
Yeah. Yours I think is better. Mine was more believable.
Yeah. So final thoughts in your rating on How to Kill Monsters.
Final thoughts. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Um, like I said, cast was a lot of fun. I liked them. It was good to see. I don't want to say, well, Jamie Lyndsey Craine in this. Like I said, I saw her in Book of Monsters, and even the blonde in the movie. I blanking on her name, but
Michaela Longdon.
yeah, she was great as a bitch, you know, and then she as a demon. Like I don't know. The problem I have with it is, did we really need to go into the demon world or monster world, or like, did that really need to go up and then come back down? And she's like, we're gonna go home, and then like it's happening around the world, and there's like two other ones floating. It like that didn't make sense to me. So like, what about those places? Like, who was in that? Or is that going to be another movie or something? But like, I don't think we needed to go up into the monster verse or monster world and come back. I think if they just stuck to, because they technically did, just stick to Earth and just stick inside of this place, you know, or maybe make it that they can't get out. They blocked all the doors or something, you know, like it's like a big cocoon thing or something. It would have been. That's one problem I had. Like I said, CGI, I can get away with it. You can get away with it. It wasn't bad. The twist was cool. Wasn't expecting that. I laughed. I had fun. It wasn't like a, oh my God, get over with this already. But I will say the fight at the end seemed to go on for too long. And I think if she was that powerful, she could have just summoned so many more monsters. And to just be stabbed like that, it just seems way too easy. You know? I feel like if she's like the queen of the monsters,
she had that moment at the end where she's almost doing the Loki thing. She's like, I defeated countless planets or whatever, and then she's like, I will not be destroyed by like the and then it's just stabbing her.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, shut up.
Yeah. I was hoping that Dennis would end up being like, I'll go with you, and then he could be like her king or something or whatever. Like that would have been cool. And then like, oh, a sequel. But it ended like that, and it's just great job. I think they did a great job, and I would have to probably rate this 7.5. I'd say it's pretty high. No, I'll go 8. I was gonna say 8, 7.5. I think 8's good. I think just because of the ending going on a little long, but I think they did a great job. Great effects. It was so bloody. It was great. It was a good movie. Very, very good.
I remember when I did the trailer reaction, I was like, I really want to see this. Like, it just looked fun.
It was definitely.
One thing I would have liked also is maybe cut back a little bit on some of the station stuff, the story, and do a little bit more at the beginning, because I really found her intriguing, because she came across like I forget her name, Angela from Night of the Demons. Like, she has that very kind of attitude, and so I thought she went out pretty early. I thought it was like, wow, man, that's kind of a waste of a character there, because I would have liked to see a little bit more of that early trauma playing out, and then finally kind of come back to it later. But also, you kind of reminded me of the end where Dennis probably could have been with the demon, like you say, hey, yeah, I want to be with you, whatever. But instead of that, like, because after they got her back into Jamie's body, she comes out of the station. That's when she gets shot by the other cops. But how fucking funny would it have been for Dennis to say, you're trapped back in this body. Now you're going to be my girlfriend. You're going to be immortal. You're going to be mortal forever. You're going to be my girlfriend. I'm not letting you out of my sight. You know how miserable that chick would be, the demon? She's like, no, not doing this. I was like, yes, you are. Give me your hand. Let's go. We're going on a date. How fucking funny would that be? I would have had a blast with that because that's like true punishment for her at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like I said, I watched it the first time and I thought, man, I didn't know how I really felt. So I watched it again. I was like, I'm gonna fucking order this thing. I want this movie. Because again, not all the comedy hits, because British comedy can either be really funny or kind of just not something that really clicks with you. And sometimes in this it does, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I'm close to where you are. I'm at 8.5. I like this movie a lot. So I'm glad you came up a little bit, even though a 7.5 is still good, but you gave it an 8. So we're right there with this. So I really, really enjoyed this. A little bit surprised. I didn't know what to expect. I did, like I said, I did my reaction to it some time ago and remembered, like, this looks good. This looks fun, especially with the effects and stuff. So kudos to the people that put this together. I'm going to try to go and watch Book of Monsters whenever I get a chance, because that you said you liked it, so I might go and give that a whirl.
Yeah,
I do like the cast. That's one thing about a lot of these movies is you got the same director and a lot of the same cast from both movies. So certainly I'll check it out and see how that plays out. But
I kind of thought with the title "How to Kill Monsters," it was kind of going to be like a little childish in a way, like a but if you're watching this, it's not for kids, maybe 15 years old, like, one of those, but definitely not any younger kids.
Good for sleepover. I mean, and there's no nudity. Yeah. So like that part's like fine. There's none of that in there. So it's just the gore. That's pretty much it. Some of the language.
Yeah. There's F-bombs and stuff, but other than that,
I do have my pick for next week. I have
mine too.
1980s Beyond Evil.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm not sure if I've seen it. I know I had it. I don't know if I sold it or not without watching it. I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't tell you right now if I've seen it. Like I said, usually sometimes I'll just watch stuff and then I'll forget about it for a while. But I think I might have caught a glimpse of it the other night again and just said, looks interesting. We'll see how it goes. I did have another movie in mind that's more recent, but I said, I'll hold off on that one for now. I'm going to check out another classic or old one.
I had a different one too. That was from the 70s. And then I saw that. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this one.
So do you want me to announce yours or do you want to do that on your own?
No, you can announce it.
So his pick, even though it's not the one we'll be doing soon, but his next pick will be Marshmallow.
Yeah.
Marshmallow.
I'm not really sure what it's about. I've just heard, people talking about it and saying it's really good. You got to check it out.
Oh, okay.
It intrigued me. So I was like, all right, it's a brand new movie.
Wow.
I think it's a camp movie. I'm not sure.
Looks like it might be. But if people are saying it's good, then it's got me intrigued. We'll see how it goes.
Ellie Church was the first one that and Ellie Church is from Headless and Plank Face and Space Babes from Outer Space and the newest movie coming out, Gush. I saw her post it first and I was like, well, all right, I trust her because they're the same. I think her and her husband are the same ones that had said about The Witch. And
they got Corbin Benson in there. Nice.
Oh, I've noticed too with movies coming out, I'm getting older and I don't know hardly any of the cast. It's like all newer people in a lot of stuff anymore. And like, I'm totally like, who the hell? Who is this kid in this movie?
Yeah.
I try to stay up to date with things, but you can't keep track of everything.
True. Very true.
But yeah,
anyway,
that's our picks.
That's our picks. So we will be doing Tony's picks here soon to record that, and then he'll have it up when he's ready. Mine will be up sometime tonight. Yep. And as always, please go and subscribe to Mr. Tony the Dead like and subscribe to the Meltdown Radio podcast if you enjoy the content. And if you've seen this movie, let us know your thoughts, what you think about it. And we're always glad to get feedback on the stuff that we watch. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day, folks, and keep it a ghoulish evening.
Good night.
Ghoul night.